Good morning. I'm still putting up on my socials. Goodness gracious, my hair is crazy today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the poetry studio. As I finish sharing to my story, the poetry studio is happening. There we go. All right, and there we go. That's perfect. Cool. Welcome everybody to my shaking computer. Welcome everybody to the poetry studio. My name is Joseph. I am the Walking Wall Poet, and today we have some incremental improvements to the stream. As you can see, we now have an overlay which announces the morning's theme. This is not really something which is going to be like a massive theme, like something that if you're not here for connection, then you get out. But it's more so that it is just generally a statement of this is what I was feeling and introduce to the world. We can also take feelings from the world. So if you are here and you have a vibe that you want to express, feel free to express it. Today I've got a few projects that I'm working on. There was another thing I was actually working on too, but I don't know where I put it. Oh yeah, that's because it's on the computer. We're going to be writing some poetry inspired by a beautiful farmhouse and farmland out in the Winchester area. We are going to be revising a poem about bridges and family bridges, and just having a beautiful morning of it. So, but as we start all of our mornings, we start with a reading from our featured poet of the week, who is the Poetry Fox. So I am going to bring down this the audio, and believe it or not, the poem that we're going to be reading today is also about connection in its own way. So I think it's very synchronistic of that. The theme and the poetry that comes with it might not necessarily always line up, or it might. So here, let's get over to our, I always have to make sure that I have my other screen running so I know what I'm doing. If you are here, say hello. Love to see that people are here. Otherwise, it's always good to be speaking to the replay verse out on YouTube. So if we shift over, oh goodness, we didn't do that right. Okay. So we have up our poem for today. This is a very old poem from the Poetry Fox. It's one of the first he's actually posted on his Instagram. Goes to show that I have scrolled through his Instagram. Good morning, Poetry Fox here. I really think that this is a great poem to kind of echo the theme of connection as we start this morning. It is good to see you in the house, Polite Heretic, aka Poetry Fox. I think I am going to write that poem today about the Polite Heretic. The notion of the Polite Heretic. Usernames and poetry are going to become a thing on this channel for sure. And now you can see me as I am showing the screen as well. So that is another good development, slowly improving. I was actually pricing green screens earlier last night. So this is, I'll call this one iPhone, because that was the word that prompted this poem from the Poetry Fox. This is iPhone. The power is out, and the iPhone is dead, and all the food in the freezer has to be eaten or it'll go bad. So we'll get the flashlights and candles and set the table in the dark and cook dinner on the campfire in the yard and sit in the soft silence telling stories to each other. And when the power comes back on, we'll turn the lamps off and tell another story in the dark. One more time, this is iPhone. The power is out, and the iPhone is dead, and all the food in the freezer has to be eaten, or it'll go bad. So we'll get the flashlights and the candles and set the table in the dark and cook dinner on the campfire in the yard and sit in the soft silence telling stories to each other. And when the power comes back on, we'll turn the lamps off and tell another story in the dark. I really like this one because it's been very well used since this time, and this was back in 2018 when this was written. But the juxtaposition of technology with connection is always a very, very good theme, and you can take it all these different directions. So here, with all that power out, we're left with just a raw human of it. And so I really like that. And then also I've talked on the stream before about the way that dark plays into theme. The word dark being a word that can go so many different directions, foreboding yet also intriguing. And so here it's used very, very aptly. So I really like this poem by the Poetry Fox. Thank you so much for your amazing poetry. We're going to read one more poem of yours tomorrow, and then we will be on to our next poet, which I'll be announcing tomorrow. So why did I choose the notion of connection today? Well, I'm actually going to go straight to my profile to show everybody, because starting tonight is something called Virtual Hermans. What is Virtual Hermans, you may ask? Well, this is a virtual gathering of what used to be an in-person gathering of typewriter enthusiasts. And Poetry Fox, if you've got time this weekend, it's free to attend. You should definitely think about attending if you haven't already signed up to attend. Virtual Hermans today. So to explain what Hermans is, basically there's a guy in West Virginia, nice and close by to me, who has a collection of over 800 typewriters. 800 typewriters. Alas, Poetry Fox says, I can only do Sunday typewriter museum walkthrough, alas. Well, it's going to be a pretty good walkthrough. It's apparently going to be pretty detailed. Have you ever, it's apparent, it's just out of this world. And so Herman Price has this collection. He has it in his house. And once a year, it even was twice a year for a short time, he would open his house to guests, to people, to be able to his property, to people to be able to come by, view the museum, hang around, lounge around. It was very, just kind of very like homegrown and very campfirey. Believe it or not, there's a campfire tonight. So, so we will be all attending that. And what is amazing is I was really excited. He usually has a spring and fall celebration. I went to the fall celebration last year, and I was really excited for the spring one. Like, I bought some typewriters I was going to sell and repair. I was going to do all this stuff. And then the spring celebration came around, and it wasn't a thing because, COVID wrecked everything. So now we're going to finally be able to do Herman's. I'm helping moderate a conversation on Saturday. Shout out to Twitcher Alex, Mod Gang. I'm going to be actually being a mod for one of the Zoom calls, so that'll be pretty cool. And it's going to be exciting and it's going to be fun. So if you are interested in anything typewriter and you want to learn more about our kooky community, feel free to register. You can learn more about it from the link on my Instagram profile. Otherwise, that theme of connection is going to be one that, I think that are we good? There we go. That theme of connection is going to be one that we are going to carry into an opening poem today. As I bring back my music. What's the music right now? Ooh, that's a great poem about connection. One of the things that I find, I think that song was ending. One of the things I find so intriguing about connection for me is the notion of being able to bridge mind to mind. being able to reach, and it's really good that we actually going to be editing a poem about bridges with the theme or the image of bridges today, because that reach is just something that it's inherent to who we are as humans. Currently pouring through Awakening from the Meaning Crisis by John Vervaeke. It's a podcast, and the fact is humans, they're survivable adaptation, like, you know, dogs have fangs and you know, or wolves have fangs rather, and elephants have tusks, but our adaptation is communication and connection. So there's so many ways that you could take that general theme. So I really like it. Let's jump in. By the way, Twitcher or Alex, you'll be glad to know that I added a whole bunch of songs to the instrumentals list. It was starting to get a little repetitive for me, and I was wondering, I was like, I thought Akira had more instrumentals. What am I doing wrong? And it turns out that he does have more instrumentals, and I just never added them to the Spotify playlist. If you are tuning in, the music we're listening to is done by lo-fi meaning wave artist Akira the Don. So this poem has very quickly gone into that metaphor of adaptation, but how our adaptation is that we can do many things when we are together. Connection is our theme for the morning. Good morning, Spencer Grove. Spencer Grove says, morning poetry crew. Good morning, Spencer Grove. We got to get more of your poetry on the stream at a certain point. Message me. We gotta connect over that. Yeah, writing something new. Sinews is an overused word for me, believe it or not. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm trying to think of a new word for sinews. This has rhyming. This is slant rhymes. I rarely actually end the poem on the word that spurs on the poem, but this time it did that. I may have to pass on Polite Heretic today, but go to Polite Heretic tomorrow. I think I'm gonna make sure I set aside time for Polite Heretic poem tomorrow. We'll make it happen. This is adaptation. Our gathering grows us to elephant size, helps us fly like eagles, sense scent like the wolf in the dark forest. Build a boat and sail the world as brother whale. I feel the web feet of Phelps, the butterfly inspiration in Dalai Lama, the bird song in my wife flowing melody. They say humans are not animals, but we are most beast, bullish in our cunning and cheetah in our running. When we tie the tree limbs of our tendons together, we rise and roar in all keys with the lion. Connection, our foremost adaptation. So there is a poem about connection. Continuing on to connection, I have a poem about bridge and bridging connection across generations. That is the next thing that I've got to work on. Let's see if our typewriter camera has worked for the shift. There we go. So I'm able to turn a typewriter camera around this way and kind of work on the poem. It's hard to see it. If I turn on the light. Ah, blindness. Nope, too bright. Well, let's work with that. I can sometimes move back the typewriter. It gives me more room to be able to put it front and center. Yeah, that's way better. So this poem I wrote a couple of streams ago for one of the wedding planners that I've been in touch with. I love giving people examples, and this is going to be a gift for her mother. It may take a couple of rounds of editing based on the email that she sent back to me, which didn't give a lot of concrete direction on how to edit the poem. She just was not too satisfied with the result. So the poem is about, it's celebrating her mother's now passed away spouse, this woman's father. And I use the metaphor of kind of a bridge to kind of show that, you know, there's a reach, there's a connection across the years, there's a connection that happened even within his lifetime. And that the poem is about missing him. I wrote missing him on the top right here. But she seemed to not be sure. So obviously it didn't ring for her daughter, which, if family lineage is any indicator, might not ring for her mother. So I have to kind of figure out a way to heavy hit with the theme a little more, make it a little simpler possibly. So that is what I'm going to start doing now as we all watch. I was confirming that I had the right poem in front of me. Sometimes my drafts get a little lost. Oh, we got a comment in. Spencer Grove says I'm about 11K words for NaNoWriMo. Still a little behind, but I'm off today. So I can do quite a bit. Get those word counts up. Blight Heretic says I have to dip out to cook a kid breakfast before school day begins. Thank you for writing that adaptation poem. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Polite Heretic, and this is a solemn promise that tomorrow we will indeed be writing a poem inspired by Polite Heretic. Yes, get after it. I think that is going to become a recurring theme on these streams. I've so decided. I mean, when we do have new people that come in and they have unique usernames, we are going to just do compilation after compilation based on that. There are some usernames that we really can't write about. If Leaky ever returns, I just can't write a poem about his username, but I can write a poem about a lot of other people's usernames. What is in a name? Something to think about. I just can't see the evidence. So the way this poem goes is there's a nostalgic recalling a memory it starts with. And then there is the specific dedication to her husband. Then there's this last part here. And it goes, all the family, all surrounding and stretching around you, even from afar, even from the heavenly riverbank. Which I thought was a great set of lines. But it's got trouble. All the family, all surrounding and stretching around you, even from afar, even from the heavenly riverbank. No, it's not really that the content's bad. It's more like, how is it phrased? Is it the children crisscrossing all rivers and miles, or is it that everybody crossed rivers and miles? And I'm gonna put it to you all. And then this concept right here, I need to clarify that, but frankly, I think that's only going to come in the writing. Let's see if I can throw a piece of paper in there and try to figure out. I really want to make a good impression on this poem. Typewritten. Oh. Sorry. Desk foibles. Desk foibles. There we go. Nice to have Goggins instrumentals on the stream now. That was not the case before. All right. I have an idea. Alrighty, let's rock this poem. I'm already pretty upset about the formatting on this one, but I will just handle it and power through. It's a content edit anyway. What the heck? That's not what I meant. I'm having margin issues now. Man, this typewriter does not want to do this right this morning. There we go. Wanna become famous? By followers, primes, and viewers. Says Riscopat949. Yeah, get out of here. Ew. Let's delete that. There we go. Now I can see all the mod things. I forgot to turn those on. All right. Alrighty. Well, I want to thank you both for being here. This is going to be the end of the stream. Thank you so much to Twitcher Alex, Spencer Grove, and Polite Heretic, aka the Poetry Fox. If you have not checked out the Poetry Fox, do check out the Poetry Fox. It's pretty cool. And I may even like try to replace this thing on the bottom here with something that features the thing. Before we go, I'm going to read this poem, a revised version of Bridge. The goal of this poem is to help the woman who I'm writing it for feel connected to her past husband, to see his place in everything with the family, and to illustrate that beauty. So this is Bridge. The bond of immigrant children finding each other, wandering among the grocer's aisles for that sweetest moment. Tying family together. Two of you a bridge over the rushing years below. Enveloping the following decades with grandchildren. Keystones of memory. They recall the steel-beamed body of a man holding a light within the family vine, wrapping the river-suspended stones. The flame battled for their sight, spanning into the decades ahead. Your husband knew of destiny, knew of your love before the altar even declared it, for children dedicated lives to you both. Before family crossed the rivers and miles away, building new bridges soaring and stretching around you, even from afar, even from the heavenly shore. You all have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for being here.